Councilmember Rick Cole here with your Monday, May 11th Council Preview. As usual in closed session, we'll be discussing litigation with our attorneys and with our negotiators upcoming union contracts, as well as retail leases with several of our tenants in one of the city's parking structures in Old Pasadena. Then in open session, a long list of consent calendar items, mostly non-controversial purchases of goods and services. And later on in the meeting, we'll be making several commission appointments, including filling 2 seats on the Pasadena Rental Housing Board. But the topics that will dominate Monday are budget and ethical investment. On the topic of the budget, the city manager will finally get a chance to present his $1.2 billion recommended spending plan for the year that begins on July 1st, the fiscal year that begins on July 1st. We didn't get to that last week because we spent 3 hours talking about the capital budget. I think we made some progress there. Don't look for a lot of detailed discussion on Monday because the meeting will be dominated both in time and emotion on the topic of ethical investment. The recommendation from our Legislative Policy Committee is relatively non-controversial. It's to add to the section of our financial policies on ethical investment the following. The city treasurer or any other authorized individual or company managing the investment of the city's surplus funds shall not invest in companies that engage in the production of fossil fuel, weapons manufacturing, tobacco, or private prisons. Now, reasonable people can agree or disagree on whether the city should take that stand, but that won't be the topic that dominates discussion on Monday. What will dominate is the topic of Israel. Because for more than a year, a group of Pasadena residents have been appealing for the city council to take a stand on what they call a genocide in Gaza. And we've also heard over the course of the year, mostly in writing, emails from all over the country, in fact, from Jewish citizens who feel that that would set Israel apart, singling out the only Jewish state in the world, which they believe has the right to defend itself. This is a tough topic, complex topic, and one that, again, reasonable people can agree about whether we should even be discussing it. But when I think about the stand that the city took against South Africa 30 years ago when I was on the city council, I think it's a legitimate topic. It's a topic we should talk about because what happens in the world affects all of us. Again, reasonable people can disagree, and I hope that people will be reasonable on Monday. I'll set forth my views, and we'll listen to others. I hope we'll come to a good conclusion. If you have thoughts, you know how to get a hold of me by email or by phone. I'm happy to talk with you about this topic or any other. So we'll see you next week.